My name is MJ Barrett. I'm not a professional, please seek a professional if you need help. Today we're going to talk about whether or not radars are effective in a South African server. Starting off with, what is a radar? A radar is a cellular device that allows players to track the location of nearby players that can be hidden in plain sight, or players that can be camping in buildings that can't be heard with sound detection. Now let's talk about the advantages of players running the radar. For one, players don't need to worry about if they need inventory space, as they can be easily kept inside the pocket of the player, so you can withdraw them with ease when needed. Unlike a compass, it can only show you the direction of where enemies could be, not their location, and most of the times, compasses can be very inaccurate as they rely heavily on the wind. Also, with radars, you don't need to use sound to detect your enemy, as you can see enemies on your radar within 200 meters from your location, and once you get a drop on your enemy's location, those unlucky enough to be seen on your radar will be on track to see the gates of heaven. After you've executed them, of course. Furthermore, radars can be good for inexperienced players as they don't have good game sense and have a hard time of locating where the enemies are. So to lessen the chances of inexperienced players getting outplayed by experienced players, they now use radars to improve their game sense. Lastly, radars can help players find loot that isn't easily accessible to players in the game. Now, I do want to state that the downsides of running radars is that you will have a 25% decrease in mobility and health, meaning that when you run the radar, you will have to give up quarter of your health and mobility in order to run the radar item. 2. Radars don't have the ability to detect all players because the radar can only detect enemies that are within 200 meters from your location, so any players beyond that cannot be seen. 3. Players also have perks such as Cloak to avoid detection from other players that are using radars, but it comes with a hefty price as they can't use the radar whilst running this perk and it can only last up to 32 seconds. Lastly, the signal on the radar is not the best, especially not in locations like the Savannah region because there aren't many cell towers around to help assist the signal on the radar. And I forgot to mention that in order for radars to have maximum efficiency, they have to be used in cities because most cities have cell towers. But MJ, how do I obtain the radar? No worries, because to obtain the radar, you have to accept the off the radar quest. In order to complete this quest, you have to eliminate 3 players within 20 seconds. 2. Eliminate 3 players using a silent takedown move, which can only be unlocked once you've reached the 7th division. And the last objective, take out the mini boss in the South African server with a combat knife without alerting nearby enemies. And to this last objective, I say good luck because these mini bosses are well armored. In conclusion, the usage of the radar has recently increased. The mods have hinted towards potentially nerfing the radar as they've underestimated the advantage it gave to players, especially for those who are experienced. And they have said that the reason they added this into the game was to give players an alternative, but more improved version of the compass. But unfortunately, players have taken advantage of radars, and some radars have been jailbreaked to detect, instead of 200 meters, up to 700 meters of enemy detection. And as you can see, this is game breaking. So players are speculating that in the next patch update, the mods might nerf the radar, along with a few other items.